Welcome to Straight Talk with Sandra. Are you trying to master the game of life without success? There are secrets and strategies to living your best life. We'll share some of them with you on today's show. Take advantage of this series to become an expert at relationships. All relationships. It's time to live the life that you deserve to live. Now, here's your host, Sandra.
Hello, and welcome to Straight Talk with Sandra, a show about living your very best life. And today we have, I think a topic that I'm surprised we haven't done before because it's so important. We're going to be talking today, if you're just tuning in, on social anxiety. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't even know the terminology. It's often people refer to it as shyness. Sometimes can be an overlap on the two of them. So if you're just tuning in, I'm going to take a little break from that for a second and tell you a little bit what I've been up to in the last couple of weeks because it was pretty special. But if shyness is something that interferes with your life and you've always wondered why, or you're eating publicly, or I know for myself, when I walk into a party, like some people love if everybody turns, like I'd rather be shot than have people turn and it's not comfortable to me. And the research on social anxiety is quite interesting, and I've got Georgia in the house. I'm going to tell you all about her. She's been on the show many, many times. She's absolutely brilliant, and she really works in the clinic on social anxiety. And I think that you've told me that we're seeing an onslaught of social anxiety these days, right, in kids and adults?
Yeah, it's a lot, and I think that very few people actually know that it's social anxiety. They feel that they're shy to this or they're not able to do something, and they're not really understanding what is happening and what the reasons are for that. And so I think it's a really important show because you might have a little bit of social anxiety as well.
And if you don't know that you have social anxiety, it's not like your life is being ruined, but on the other hand, we might be able to make it better.
Yeah. Yes,
we just might. So I haven't seen you in a little while, Georgia. I've really missed you. I haven't seen you around the corner.
You've been traveling.
I've been traveling, and I do want to talk a little bit about that before we get into it because it's very touching, these trips. I was in Lethbridge and Red Deer, Alberta. Now, both of those places are actually really, the people are so warm, and they were so kind to me, and I know a lot of them are tuning in, and I want to say a big thank you. I was speaking to caregivers about treatment for anxiety and depression, and also the risk that caregivers get into.
Important.
Yeah.
That's so important. I saw some pictures. It was amazing.
Yeah, well, they were so receptive. I mean, I had to go on this tiny plane. It was unbelievably, I don't want to say scary, but a little bit like an amusement ride for me. I found it a little bit difficult, but the warmth of the people made it so special, and they were very interested in the anxiety videos, and definitely people were coming up and talking about social anxiety, OCD, anxiety, and as always at these conferences, a lot of people were talking about within their own families and what goes on, and it's hard, because when we're caregivers, we're supposed to have all the answers, and we're not supposed to have anxiety in our families, and that's just not realistic at all. And I really want to say a big thank you to Alberta and the people who brought me out there, Executive Links, and Red Deer and Lethbridge in particular, for being so kind to me and so warm and being so supportive of the work that we do together, the anxiety videos, and also of this radio show. They were just amazing, and I know a lot of them are listening in tonight to hear about the famous Georgia and what she's got to say.
Well, I think they're probably listening for the famous Sandra. I think it's wonderful, though, that you also spoke about taking care of caretakers. I think that that's so important. And then what happens if there's no one to take care of the caretakers and the caretakers get ill or something happens, then there's no one to care for anyone. So it's really important if you're a caregiver to make sure that you're also doing what you have to make sure that you feel good and that you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And the truth is, one of the reasons that that part of the lecture always goes over quite well is that caretakers are notoriously not good at taking care of themselves.
Right. They're usually, where are they on their list of importance?
Like the bottom. So I've been really, I'm very fortunate that the people who hired me had allowed me to incorporate that into the segment. And I have to say that's probably the best received, is that the caregivers, it's almost like a secret language we have. Yes. Is that therapists and nurses and social workers and OTs and physical therapists, we all have something in common, is we're in the business of giving. And you know that no matter what goes on in your life, people, they feel for you, but you're expected to show up and give, and you can't give with empty pockets.
No, I love that. Say it again.
You cannot give with empty pockets.
Yes. And so you have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and you're aware of where you're at. Also that check-in with yourself daily of where am I How am I feeling? What am I doing? So important. That's great.
So important and so relevant to the talks that we have on this show together about anxiety treatment. Now, Georgia, you've been a really popular guest, so let me properly introduce you. Like, when you come on the show, we can see it in the ratings. People absolutely love you. I'm not surprised. You're dynamic on your podcasts and the different things that you do. You're an outstanding clinician, someone I admire very much. I admire your work. I love it. And in particular, I mean, your bio, you've been doing this for 20 years, teaching and counseling, and you have degrees in psychology and education and a distinction in art therapy. You're also a Canadian Jiu-Jitsu champion. Oh, just that. And you specialize in treating anxiety and stress management to children and adults. You also do a lot of work on podcasts and in tech world, which is interesting because you do a lot of work in tech, but then you're also very strict on tech. Like, we talked about that in Alberta too, that technology for kids is quite dangerous. So when you come on the show, we always end up talking about anxiety. So I thought, well, what haven't we covered? And I realized that we haven't covered social anxiety.
I can't believe
Isn't that amazing?
I actually, when you said that we haven't covered, I went, are we sure we haven't covered it?
No.
Sure, we've covered it. And that's amazing that we haven't, because it's probably one of, like, I would say my fourth highest anxiety that I deal with. It's definitely within the top 5.
Right.
So that's so important.
Okay, well, first of all, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
If you want to join in the conversation, you can call us at 1-866-472-5792. Again, that's 1-866-472-5792. We're also streaming live on Facebook today. We like to do that when Georgia comes over to make it a little bit interactive on the commercial breaks. So just go to Straight Talk Sandra Reich, and we'll answer any questions and fiddle around a little bit on the breaks and try to keep the topic of anxiety a little bit humorous, because we're very much of that belief that anxiety and depression can get very dark.
Yes.
And we've got to find a little bit of a humorous angle. And there is, ways to make this pleasant, which is a good lead in. I would like you to discuss a little bit what social anxiety is, and maybe I'll tease the audience with the fact that one day I saw one of you and your patients going downtown with spots on your face. What on earth were you doing? So if you can tie that all in for us, in a minute. Well, no, you have more than a minute. Take as long as you need.
So social anxiety is the fear of judgment of others. And it's a very intense fear. And I think that it's worried about what other people are going to think, about not fitting in, about looking stupid. I think that all of us can empathize with some pieces of that. Now, when does that go from just being shy or just being worried to something that would be considered social anxiety? That's when it actually impacts your life and you're not able to do things that you would like to do because of this. When it's starting to inhibit where you're going to go, what you're going to do, what degree you're going to take, the schooling that you're going to be at, answering the phone at your work,
bathroom,
going to the bathroom, or
public bathroom.
Yes, or not.
Quite common.
Oh, very, very common. And it changes because slowly, it usually creeps up really, really slowly. And then after a while, you realize that, oh my goodness, I can no longer do my job. I have people that have actually quit work or have not taken.
Wow, really?
Yeah, quit work.
So
that's taking a job.
That's for the people who've just studied anxiety treatment. That's an example of avoidance, right?
Yes.
And that what we know is avoidance feeds anxiety and makes it worse. So that's not the answer to being shy.
No, it's a great answer to feeding and getting your anxiety to be stronger.
Yeah, you want to get an anxiety disorder? Avoid. Yeah.
Yes.
So what am I to do? What am I to do if I feel shy in situations and I feel uncomfortable if I'm, I have to eat at work and everyone's staring at me, my hands start to shake and I start to sweat.
Yes.
What am I to do?
Well, there's many different techniques. In the end, what the main theory to it is that whatever you avoid, you end up creating a feeding loop. So when I'm scared of eating at work or going to the washroom at work and I avoid it, I feel relief. I'm like, oh, good, I avoided that horrible situation, that fear that I might have.
Right.
Or even answering the phone. If I answer the phone and I don't answer it this time, I feel they stopped ringing. Okay, good. I don't have to worry about that.
Which is a little bit addictive, that feeling.
It's addictive, and you're actually, if you were trying to train someone for something, right, when they do the right thing, you give them a little reward. And so in your mind, you're actually getting a little tiny reward. You're getting that little shot of dopamine that says, oh, good, this is good. So it actually, like the lie of therapy is that when you're doing the right thing, it's going to feel right. Well, no, unfortunately, especially with anxiety, feeling right is the wrong thing. Your limbic system, the part of your brain, the primal part of your brain, is trying to keep you away from doing something dangerous. But in your mind, the ability of your peers or your friends or other people to not like you is that that thing that you're fearing. And so in the end, you're going to avoid people, and we need people, and most jobs deal with people. And so your world becomes very, very small. And sometimes it happens that your world is very little by the time that you decide, oh my goodness, look at what's happened. It kind of creeps up on you.
So yeah, that's a great explanation. Thank you. And I guess, in the next segment, we're going to talk about what you were doing with that person. It's going to be very clear, though, from what you're saying, that you were definitely doing some sort of exposure therapy, which, you're doing a nice tie-in that in avoiding it is a disastrous solution, and going towards it is the solution. I want to add in before we go to the break, if you relate to this at all and you wondered at all where this came from, is a lot of times it comes from perfectionistic, critical parents.
Mm-hmm.
So if your parents were like, well, you're just not doing that right, or come on,
Yes.
and a lot of focus on you. Yeah, and if your kids are starting to have these symptoms, we have to be honest with ourselves too. Are we doing this to our kids?
So important.
And sometimes we're not even trying to be critical.
You're
we're
so
being
right.
very feedback-ish.
Yes.
You're doing really good. You're not doing good, or you're not trying hard enough.
What would the neighbors think? And
Exactly.
Or those people are going to look, they're not going to like you, or they're not going to accept you if you do. Like, we're often doing it from a place of kindness. We're trying to stop people from being judged because we might have our own fear of judgment.
Right.
And so we're trying to stop our kids from being judged, but we're actually making them fear being judged and doing the opposite thing to that. So I think that's such a good point to kind of look at yourself and say, maybe I'm doing it without meaning to.
Well, I love the discussion, and I want to continue it. And I want, as always, for everybody listening to think about, in terms of their kids, in terms of themselves, how shyness may be affecting your life. Are there things you avoid in your life? I know sometimes there's things I avoid. So maybe you'll think about if there's anything you avoid.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be right back with Straight Talk with Sandra Reese.
Your life, your health, your network. You're listening to Voice America Health and Wellness.
Spa Munari is a full-service wellness day spa located at the heart of West Island, Quebec. Submerge yourself in beauty with one of our many treatments, specially catered to your needs. We offer facials, manicures, pedicures, hair removal, massages, body treatments, and so much more. Enjoy our ultimate relaxation experience with our spa packages. We offer a men's menu as well. Call us today to book your next appointment at 514-695-5040 or visit us on the web at spamunari.com. That's 514-695-5040 or spamunari.com.
Join the therapist who is affectionately known as the Couple Whisperer, Sandra Reich, on her famous couple retreats and change your life forever. Sandra offers couple retreats in beautiful locations several times a year that can radically change your love life. Couples describe her retreats as life-changing. Regain that loving feeling, bring your intimacy to a new level, and rediscover excitement and joy. Find out more at helpforanxietydepression.com or call 514-796-4357. We all want love and safety. Now you can have it. Call 514-796-4357 or helpforanxietydepression.com.
Change your life forever with the latest cutting-edge products for home study treatment for anxiety, featuring the clinical director of the Montreal Center for Anxiety and Depression and host of Straight Talk, Sandra Reich. Sandra is joined by top therapist Georgia Dow in this revolutionary anxiety videos therapy series. Thousands of people have benefited from this scientifically proven treatment approach. Isn't it time you chose yourself? Visit anxiety-videos.com right now. That's anxiety-videos.com and change your life forever.
A fresh look at today's health. Voice America Health and Wellness.
You are listening to Straight Talk with Sandra Reish. To connect with the program today, please call 1-866-472-5792. Again, that's 1-866-472-5792. You may also send an email to info@helpforanxietydepression.com. Now, back to Straight Talk. Here's Sandra Reish.
We are back with Straight Talk with Sandra Reish. Sorry, we're having a tiny technical difficulty, but we are back. So again, if you'd like to join the conversation at any time, you can call us at 1-866-472-5792 or join us we're streaming live on Facebook. Join into the conversation. We were talking about areas in our own lives, and on Facebook I was discussing for many years I would only wear like black and low-key colors, and I didn't really see it as social anxiety per se, but I did like to sort of blend in, and I've become much more of a bright color person. And I was just about to ask Georgia, here, I'm going to help you with that, Georgia. I was just about to ask you, where are the areas in your life, because I was saying you're quite the extrovert, so I'm wondering, are there areas in your life that you have played things down or avoided things?
I think that whenever I do, it's interesting because social anxiety, it's often either you're avoidant or worried about either strangers. There's two types. So it's either strangers that you're more avoidant of, or it's more people that you know that you're feel more nervous about. And so for me, what I feel more nervous is when it's people that I know that are going to be watching something, the people that I care about. So I remember the first time that you watched one of my podcasts.
Oh.
Remember? I remember that. And I see you in the chat room. Sandra's so sweet because she's so supportive to everything. And she's in the chat room. It was so adorable. But I went, oh my God, if I say something stupid, now Sandra's going to know. And she'll be like, oh goodness, now she wasn't really that bright. And she really wasn't that good at what she was doing. And so that worries me more. And that causes me a little bit of anxiety in comparison to doing something where there's a whole bunch of strangers. For me, that's the opposite. I'm like performing. I don't know them. It's not as big of a deal to me.
I know what you mean, though, and I think it's relevant to social anxiety because even in the DSM, it talks about people in authority. Mm-hmm. And I mean, back in the day, you do work at the clinic. The clinic is mine, so there was a little bit of that.
I don't want to say it wasn't even authority, and it could be.
No, but I'm just saying it's someone whose opinion you care about.
Yes, for the people, so the first time Renee listened to one of my shows.
So maybe authority is not the word, but someone who their opinion matters.
The people that I care about.
Yeah.
So for me, and it is a common one actually for people of authority.
Yes, like at the border, people can't go through the border.
Yes, exactly. Or sometimes or sometimes it's peer groups, your peer group, or sometimes it's the opposite sex that causes you more anxiety. And sometimes it's a group that you would see as either more grumpy or more judgmental.
That's for me. If I know I'm going to speak somewhere, and this is why I was thanking so much to Alberta, they were so nice to me. If I know I'm going to speak somewhere and I feel like I know in advance that it's a peer group or a group of people that I know that might tend to be more judgmental, I'm more nervous.
Right.
So it makes sense, I think. Yeah.
Interesting. I have a little bit of that as well. That bothers me. And if I'm giving a speech and I look onto the crowd, so if you're watching someone speaking, we actually look out onto the crowd. And if I see no one nodding, one smiling, or I had at one point someone falling asleep while I was speaking, I went, oh no, like this. I tried to make it better because I'm thinking it's me. And they're probably just tired and they were out late the night before. It probably had nothing to do with me. But in my mind, it was me. And so yes, if you're one of those people, that means the world.
I know. Okay, first of all, that's so funny you say that because I'm very empathetic to speakers and teachers. So I sit in class and I do this.
No. People love you. They love you and they notice.
But it's funny. I go one step further than you. In Alberta, a few times I'll say, "Does this make sense?" And there's no one moves, and I go, "No, you need to nod now, please." I'll try to ask for it.
I love that you specifically
that's a strategy, actually. By the way, is that. One of the strategies we give people with severe shyness, which I don't have, but severe shyness, is to even go and own the shyness and say, I'm really feeling nervous right now. I'm feeling really shy right now.
Why does that work so effectively?
Well, it works because the moment you own it, your vulnerability is attractive. People embrace it, and now you're not hiding anymore. Mm-hmm. So if my hands were shaking, I'd probably say, oh, look, my hands are shaking. Bring it to the attention of people. I don't know. I think that part of it is that we fear the judgment and yet people are less judgmental when you own it yourself, I guess, I think. And I don't know. What do you think?
You're no longer, I think you're absolutely right. You're no longer having to hide something. It's something that's out in the open, and right away, interestingly, people often think that you want to be perfect, and if you're perfect, no one's going to judge you. But then we end up with, as we've spoken about before on the Stewart syndrome, which is when you act all perfect, people want to knock you down from that. When you act more real and honest, other people can empathize with, oh yeah, I totally understand what that would feel like, and they want to make you feel better.
This is true. And that makes me, this whole human nature thing brings up a point that I know you want to talk about, and it's very important, is the evolutionary explanation for social anxiety. And believe it or not, there is one. Yeah. What is it?
Yeah, it's that, why
do we have this?
Yeah, well, so almost all types of fears and phobias are at some point in our existence actually linked to keeping us alive and were beneficial to us. And so us as small, defenseless primates, right? No eye teeth, no real strong claws, and we're, compared to other primates and other animals, relatively weak. And so because of that, we needed the troop to survive. And so we have two things. One is that if you had offended someone in your troop and were thrown out of it, do you think that your chances of survival will increase being alone or decrease being alone?
My chances for survival will decrease.
Yeah, so you're alone and you're not with your group that keeps you alive.
So you have to be accepted.
That want to be accepted. Plus, if you're really liked by someone, you move up the hierarchy. And so you get better food as you move up in the hierarchy, and you get better treatment, and you get better care. And you can see this in primate groups all the time, even from when they're preening each other. And so that's one of the forms of, like, they show is that the high person, the person at the top of the list may not preen anyone, and then everyone else is preening depending on their social hierarchy of what they get dealt with. And whoever gets to eat, whoever gets the best food, whoever's creatures, like little ones, get the best level of security, depends on where you rank.
Wow. Yeah, well, that definitely shows us that, feel, and I think we often feel like it's a defect. It's something's wrong with us.
So beautiful, yes.
And I think it's so important. It's so beautiful. What you're saying is, again, this idea that it was adaptive. Yeah. It was a good quality. Now what do we do with it? So let's bring this back to the person with the spots at the office that I see you taking downtown with spots all over. Yeah. What on earth were you doing?
So they had a social anxiety, and this is very common for people that are fair-skinned. Often when we're nervous, we want to hide that. We don't want to show, which was also adaptive, to not show fear. Again, not for today, but it used to be that someone, if you were showing fear, that someone would take advantage of that. And so we're made to want to hide our fears. And that actually causes an anxiety in and of itself. So I was dealing with someone with, when they would get nervous, they would get red spots on their skin, and so on their chest, on their neck. And at first they started to hide it by wearing shirts that were higher cut, and then turtlenecks, and then scarves. They realized, interestingly enough, that the more that they hid, the more that the spots started to creep up higher and higher. Oh. And they were mortified, and they weren't like, allergic spots. This was just redness that would come in a patchy form on their neck, and then it would kind of creep up onto their face a little, and they would be mortified if someone said, "Oh, are you okay? You seem to be all spotty."
Which again feeds the anxiety response, right? Because now people are noticing me. Oh my God, oh my God.
They know, and their thought was, they know that I'm anxious, not that I'm hot or that I'm allergic or I didn't eat something well or I was itching, whatever it might be. They said they know that I'm anxious, and now they think less of me because of that.
Oh boy. Okay. So so then more symptoms.
Exactly.
Right.
It became more, and it became difficult for them to hide that. Mm-hmm. And so now many people say that what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to get better foundation, or to hide it even better, right? Is often people's situation, but that does not get rid of the anxiety. So what we had to do was confront the fear. And so their fear was to be seen by people with their splotchy skin. And so I figured, we're going to paint each other with red spots on our necks. And I got red spots for her, and she got painted red spots all over me. And we walked downtown Montreal, and just walked around downtown Montreal with spotted skin, red, like bright red spotted skin. And I walked around Montreal. It was quite a lot of fun, facing her fear directly. And at first, she was not alone. She was really, really nervous and anxious.
Of course.
And in the end, Montreal's very open-minded, by the way, at these kind of things. Like, really, no one really even looks. Like, they didn't even notice. One person asked us if we were doing a play, but besides that, we went in, we tried on clothes clothing in shops. We looked at jewelry stores, asked places if they could match our spotted skin to be able to deal with stuff. They found jewelry. They didn't ask. They just found jewelry for us. And that was it. After that one session, actually, their fear went away.
Okay, so, looking at that, what you did there is, I know why it went away. So, but I'm going to, try to look at it from somebody listening point of view. It's, why does that work? Why did that work?
Because we went to their worst case scenario. Their thought was that if people saw that there was something they were spotted, that they would think that they were defective, that they would avoid them, that they would judge them. And so we ended up proving to them that none of that was true. They weren't judged, they were still accepted, and people were happy. And they embraced it. And then their fear of being caught and found out for this went away, because the worst case scenario would never get this dark, and other people didn't care, didn't notice, and didn't mind.
Yeah, that's cool. So proof is always in the pudding, right? You have to face the fear. I remember when I worked with social anxiety years ago, someone was afraid of people noticing them in a coffee shop. We had to drop.
That's a great
get
story.
Everybody look around. It's like I was saying to the audience when I spoke last week, is that even the worst story, like somebody, afraid of throwing up on a subway, it's not great, but you can probably turn it into a funny story one day.
It'll be a great story if nothing else.
Yeah,
yes, that's what I think. I actually do think that to myself. It's like, if nothing else, this will be a
good
great story one day.
So the proof is really that this is survivable.
Yes.
And that most people are not so focused on you.
No.
And if they see red blotches on you, maybe not the end of the world.
No, they may not even notice.
May not even notice.
Maybe sad that they didn't notice. Maybe you.
Yeah, you're hoping they'll notice.
Maybe you'd hope that they were noticed.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because it must be difficult. I know it is, to get the client to get to that point that they're even willing to do such an experiment with you.
Oh, yes,
got to be tough.
Good. That's so good. What are the different things that would help them get there? What do you need for a therapist to do this? Because it's better to do this with a therapist. You could do it alone.
Oh, yeah. No, I think it would be difficult to do alone. I think that I know you had to teach them first how to relax their body in a stressful situation. You had to do some cognitive distortion. So thoughts, thinking that everybody is thinking I'm an idiot is a distortion, because we won't hold it in a court of law. We don't know what people will think. We don't know what people are saying in their heads about you. So you have to have those skills, and I do think, I think you actually do need a therapist to teach you them before you can venture out. I don't think anyone would agree to it, quite frankly.
No, and that trust would, you want to make sure that you're in a trusting relationship with the person that you're doing that with, and they understand beforehand what are they going through. And it wasn't the first session that we went right out.
Important to say.
And did that.
Okay, we're going to be right back. Continue the discussion of difficult situations with social anxiety. We'll be right back.
Your life, your health, your network. You're listening to Voice America Health and Wellness.
Spa Munari is a full-service wellness day spa located at the heart of West Island, Quebec. Submerge yourself in beauty with one of our many treatments, specially catered to your needs. We offer facials, manicures, pedicures, hair removal, massages, body treatments, and so much more. Enjoy our ultimate relaxation experience with our spa packages. We offer a men's menu as well. Call us today to book your next appointment at 514-695-5040 or visit us on the web at spamunari.com. That's 514-695-5040 or spamunari.com.
Join the therapist who is affectionately known as the Couple Whisperer, Sandra Reish, on her famous couple retreats, and change your life forever. Sandra offers couple retreats in beautiful locations several times a year that can radically change your love life. Couples describe her retreats as life-changing. Regain that loving feeling, bring your intimacy to a new level, and rediscover excitement and joy. Find out more at helpforanxietydepression.com or call 514-796-4357. We all want love and safety. Now you can have it. Call 514-796-4357 or helpforanxietydepression.com.
Change your life forever with the latest cutting-edge products for home study treatment for anxiety, featuring the clinical director of the Montreal Center for Anxiety and Depression and host of Straight Talk, Sandra Reish. Sandra is joined by top therapist Georgia Dow in this revolutionary anxiety videos therapy series. Thousands of people have benefited from this scientifically proven treatment approach. Isn't it time you chose yourself? Visit anxiety-videos.com right now. That's anxiety-videos.com and change your life forever.
A fresh look at today's health. Voice America Health and Wellness.
You are listening to Straight Talk with Sandra Reish. To connect with the program today, please call 1-866-472-5792. Again, that's 1-866-472-5792. You may also send an email to info@helpforanxietydepression.com. Now, back to Straight Talk. Here's Sandra Reish.
We are back on Straight Talk with Sandra Reish. Georgia and I were just saying how fast the time is going. And you know what, Georgia? I am not surprised because social anxiety is a huge topic and one that we've overlooked. We've been remiss on that one, but we're on it now. Before I go back into those steps that we were talking about, which are so important, we always like to start the third segment on what's coming up for both of us, and also, for people who are going through anxiety, what are some of the options out there if they don't live in Montreal? Yeah. So I don't know what's coming up. For me, I'm leaving in 2 weeks for my women's retreat, my 13th women's retreat.
That's amazing. Where is that going to be?
It's at Spa Eastman, as always, and it's a wonderful weekend, a nice getaway for really on. This time we're tackling things like guilt. I'd love to have you back to talk about guilt, anger, empathy, trust.
Oh, these are such important topics. Now, is it already filled up, or how would they contact if they wanted to? They could
still contact us. We're almost sold out, but you can reach us at 514-796-4357. Guilt, let me just think, empathy, trust, and emotions, your guidance system. So big ones coming up.
And you have a lot of fun, and you get great food. Yes. And you get to tackle these topics that really should be taught in schools, that we are not taught these. These are the tools to be able to live better, to be happy, or to feel more fulfilled with life.
Oh, yeah. I love that. What's coming up for you?
Not really much that I really know of. I'm going to be continuing to do the podcast.
Yeah, and you're back from your trips, and you're at the clinic.
I got to do Twit, and I did them live. Yeah, I got to do the screensavers live.
And also a lot on Twit. There was, shout out to Twit. Thank you so much, Twit. It was so great to watch you guys. The chemistry was unbelievable.
Did you see Leo talking about you?
Oh my God!
Thankful he was for you sending the taste. I'm like, I was part of that too. He loves you. He's like, she's so sweetly sent me things. I love videos. So cute.
Okay, so on that note, the videos, for people listening, is this related to the topic? What are the anxiety videos all about, and how can people find out about them? How are they related, first of all?
Well, that's going to be the first thing that you're going to want to do, is manage your levels of anxiety before you end up even doing an exposure. And so you want to go through, breathing techniques, your cognitive distortions, and these are all the pieces that are going to be in the videos that you can get to that.
Yeah, it's actually true.
We will definitely have a DVD that will be just on social anxiety also coming up. But before you do that, you have to go through the first sets of steps to manage what are you thinking, why, and what's happening in your body.
It's funny. I didn't really plan this discussion to go this way, so it sounds like it's convenient. But the truth is, the steps that we need to go through before you go to exposure happen to be on the videos.
Yes.
It's breathing, relaxation, passive and active relaxation, and cognitive distortions. And they're covered in session 1, 2, 3, and 4, which we have. So,
and also the positivity of being positive, of how your thoughts are dealing with things. So we have all of them.
It's all there. How do they get them?
So you can check out the website. It's anxiety-videos.com, and then you can just purchase them right on site.
Yeah, that's good to know, because a lot of people were asking me about the DVDs and if they can be purchased. And we do have a nice special. People were very pleased to hear about that, of if you buy 4 or if you buy 8. So there's lots of options there, and lots of specialty topics: depression, boundaries and consequences, which, by the way, our #1 video that sells.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. I love that one.
Yeah.
I love that one. And there's
it's a big issue for people.
Sleep and parenting.
Yes. Okay,
yes.
Well, you know what? That's a segue also. I'll just mention one more thing that's coming up for me, which I always forget to mention. I do want to mention in case couples are struggling. I am going on my couple retreat coming up in May 29th at Mont Tremblant. So if your relationship's going good and you want it to go better, or if it's going so-so and you'd like it to get good, this is a wonderful opportunity. You should definitely give us a call. We have some incredible things going on with that.
Now, what happens at a couples retreat for people that are nervous, for people that are shy about going through it? What exactly? Should they be worried if they're not usually open about what's happening in their relationship, or if they feel...
Such a great question, Georgia. Thank you. It's so important thank you for bringing that up, because people don't come often. Sometimes people don't come and miss a great opportunity because they're afraid they're going to have to share their dirty laundry with other people.
Yes.
And you do not have to say a word at a couple retreat. So the setup is that I teach, and I teach cutting edge from the masters of the world,
which you've trained with. This is not just you've actually been with these people, and so you can bring it back. And Sandra, just like, you see her on the radio, and she's like so affable and friendly and down to earth, but she is all that in person. Like, I don't like going to conferences and talks to that. You are absolutely amazing, and it's entertaining and fun and honest. It's not going to be one of these things where you're sitting in a room just listening for hours on a day. Yeah, well, I don't like that myself. I'm a lot like you, and I can't handle that. It's dynamic.
This one is really on attachment and attachment injuries. You know, when you've been in a couple and something happened and hurt you and it wasn't resolved, how do you get past that? And how do you strengthen intimacy in a couple? And really not only sexual intimacy, but intimacy. What does that mean to really see? It's Dr. Sue Johnson's work, a Canadian emotional focus therapy, amazing stuff. And I hope that if people hear about it, they'll join us, because everyone who always comes always has a profound experience.
A lot of my people have gone to those, and it really helps them feel more bonded after that. They get to discuss things. If you have someone that, say that you are avoidant, so that's someone that, maybe your partner or you always does not want to deal with conflict, and so you never get to anything. This is a great way that you can then rebond that. Or if you're always chasing after someone, you're trying to get them and you feel very anxious if you're alone, this would be wonderful as a way to figure out how do you deal with that.
Yeah, thank you. So if you're interested in that, you can call us again at 514-796-4357. And we have a new website. It's called holidaycoupleretreats.com. You should check it out. It's really a nice website. Okay, you said something before this that got me a little excited, and I think it had to do with, parenting. So what does parenting have to do with social anxiety? Is there a connection? Do we have something to say about that? I guess I'm thinking yes.
There is, and I think that was really important. I think that you brought up some of the tips beforehand about the way that we parent that can actually increase anxiety by being overly harsh, trying to push children to do things, making them feel like everyone's watching them and everything's going to matter. And sometimes when we care so much about someone, we can overdo because of our own worries and fears that they might make a mistake, and that making a mistake is going to be okay to that. And so I think that that's one of the main pieces at the beginning of parenting, to be able to help your kids know that it's going to be okay, they can figure it out.
I think that's so important and so highly, we don't realize what a big deal that is. And as you were saying it, I had another thought.
Ooh, I like this.
The thought was that there's also, where do we learn shame, a universal emotion?
Ooh.
Because that's the disaster, right? Is what if I make a fool of myself? So your family of origin is where you learn what is it to make a fool of yourself. So the outrage a parent would have if a child, didn't play the piano well or didn't do a performance well is relevant.
Something.
Yes.
Love that.
Spilling is a good one. It's a good example. I've seen that. I have adopted kids, and I've seen that in one of my children when he came, when he would drop something. I don't even think I told you this. He would be he'd look up with terror in his eyes. Oh. So clearly he had experienced that could be a really bad thing to do. What happens in your household if you spill something?
Yes, and if if you feel to that, and like the same thing for if you make a mistake or look, if you don't react overly strongly to that, then someone says this is okay. But if you're saying, oh my goodness, how could you do that? That was so stupid. You're so clumsy. These are going to be the voices that you're going to be telling to yourself when you get older. The child will be telling to themselves when they get older. Those will be those same negative voices that then through cognitive therapy we're going to have to actually restructure so that we're not horribly mean and cruel to ourselves, because that's also where it comes from, is that fear of we're also berating ourselves in our head. And I can still do that sometimes to myself when I make a mistake or I say something and it was completely wrong and I go, oh, you know, like a little bit of that, oh no, that was dumb, goes into my head sometimes. And so you want to also work on that.
Yeah, we really have to work on that critical voice, because I relate to that. And, that voice, critical voice, is linked to your parents.
Yes.
And it's a parental voice. And again, our parents meant well, but sometimes our parents say things to us that we continue to say to ourselves, and it's not loving and it's not compassionate. And we want to get to the point that, whether we drop something or your child drops something, that it really is like it's okay, or that performance didn't go so well, or even that therapy session or that radio show.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It didn't go that well. Is that okay? Can it be manageable?
Yes, because if you're overly perfectionistic, you're not going to do many things, because nothing's ever going to be perfect before you do it. And if you have to have it perfect, there'll be a lot of wonderful moments that you could have gotten better at something, because only through failure and mistakes do you really learn from it.
So well said.
And if we teach that to our kids, then they'll be able to make a mistake, enjoy, be silly, have someone tease them, and it won't break them.
Now, how do we do that? Teach it to our kids if we're not doing it for ourselves?
Oh, there we go. There we go. So what would be the answer to that?
Well, I was a little bit tricking you, I think, but you've turned it on me. So the answer, I think the answer, you tell me if you agree, I think the answer is you can't teach it to your children if you don't do it for yourself. I
think that was beautifully
because
said.
I think that they don't do what you say, they do what you do.
And unconsciously they will see that.
Yeah.
Unconsciously they will see that. And I do see a lot of parents that have social anxiety and they really don't want to give it to their kids, but they can see little pieces of it coming up because, they may notice that you, instead of going up to talk, you sit down and stay down, or maybe they notice that you don't go out there and sing really loudly, you're really, really shy about it. And so then they're mimics. And so they unconsciously want to do that. You are teaching them what they should and should not do. And a wonderful way of saying, does it matter, is to say, you look at a picture of like 100 people and you're in it. Who's the first person that you look at?
Yourself.
Do you really care about everyone else? No, everyone's doing exactly the same thing. They're looking at themselves. So really, most people won't mind if you make a mistake, and that actually might make it better.
Amazing. Great information. It's time for a break again. We'll be right back with Straight Talk with Sandra Reish.
Your life, your health, your network. You're listening to Voice America Health and Wellness.
Change your life forever with the latest cutting-edge products for home study treatment for anxiety, featuring the clinical director of the Montreal Center for Anxiety and Depression and host of Straight Talk, Sandra Reish. Sandra is joined by top therapist Georgia Dow in this revolutionary anxiety videos therapy series. Thousands of people have benefited from this scientifically proven treatment approach. Isn't it time you chose yourself? Visit anxiety-videos.com right now. That's anxiety-videos.com and change your life forever.
Spa Munari is a full-service wellness day spa located at the heart of West Island, Quebec. Submerge yourself in beauty with one of our many treatments, specially catered to your needs. We offer facials, manicures, pedicures, hair removal, massages, body treatments, and so much more. Enjoy our ultimate relaxation experience with our spa packages. We offer a men's menu as well. Call us today to book your next appointment at 514-695-5040 or visit us on the web at spamunari.com. That's 514-695-5040 or spamunari.com.
Join the therapist who is affectionately known as the Couple Whisperer, Sandra Reish, on her famous couple retreats and change your life forever. Sandra offers couple retreats in beautiful locations several times a year that can radically change your love life. Couples describe her retreats as life-changing. Regain that loving feeling, bring your intimacy to a new level, and rediscover excitement and joy. Find out more at helpforanxietydepression.com or call 514-796-4357. We all want love and safety. Now you can have it. Call 514-796-4357 or helpforanxietydepression.com.
Your life, your health, your network. This is Voice America Health and Wellness.
You are listening to Straight Talk with Sandra Reish. To connect with the program today, please call 1-866-472-5792. Again, that's 1-866-472-5792. You may also send an email to info@helpforanxietydepression.com. Now, back to Straight Talk. Here's Sandra Reish.
We're back on Straight Talk talking about social anxiety and, really even like the name of the show was based on a book I read many years ago on social anxiety. It's called Dying of Embarrassment. Ooh. It really does feel like you're dying of embarrassment, and I grew up, as I often tell people, with European parents, and when Europeans and other immigrants come to this country, they certainly want their kids to shine. Yes. And there was definitely a lot of emphasis on succeeding and doing well. And I really believe that I found it very difficult at times if I was the center of attention and I didn't do things right. And it's actually through the years and the work that I do that I feel that it was sort of like a natural exposure. Like I've done plenty of things wrong, made plenty of mistakes publicly, right, and learned to find the humor in it. Humor is so important. Would you agree?
Oh, that's a great way to deal with it. Is that if you think of your life as if it was a sitcom, this would be great. It's a Seinfeld moment. Yeah. I've often said that in my head, and that it'll be a great story that can really be helpful if you can do that. I think that that's a great tool. What if you do though if you can't find humor in it? If this is something that is so really, really hurtful to you, or maybe your parents said that you were always stupid when you make a mistake or that, and someone might chuckle or even say, well, that wasn't smart. That's soul crushing to you. How would you handle that?
Oh, well, I would find it very hard, to be perfectly honest, but I know a technique that we teach our clients, which is called self-soothe. Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to mention at this point in the show. And I don't really think I'd survive my life without it, because there are moments where people don't respond well to you. Yeah. There are audiences that aren't going to find the same joke funny that's like the day before somebody was laughing their head off, and all of a sudden you make a joke and there's like cricket, like there's not a sound to be heard.
Always difficult.
And like you said, bone crushing, like kind of a horrible feeling like, oh my God, this is a disaster. Self-soothe has to be part of your vocabulary. So what is self-soothe? Self-soothe in my language, and I'm curious about yours, would be like, it's okay, Sandra, I got you. We're going to get through this. This is okay. It's not the end of the world. What is your self-soothe, Georgia?
Yeah, this is great. If you don't have one, take a pen and paper and write down something that you feel is your sentence yourself that will make you feel better. So it could be something like, for me, I would say, I'm walking towards the fire. That's the way I say it to myself. Yeah, I feel like it's like that superhero moment. You're walking towards the fire. It might not go the way you want, but I'm very proud of you for trying, because you knew that it could have been hard, and you knew it could have been bad.
Say it again. Say it again.
It's that you're walking towards the fire.
What's the fire?
So that would be I'm gonna
speaking engagement.
When I did Twit, I was actually really nervous before I did Twit live.
Yeah, that was a big moment for you. You hadn't met him.
I hadn't met him, and I've never done the show that one live. Yeah. I've never actually done that show ever. And
you were so awesome, by the way. Check her out.
Yeah, thank you.
I watched every bit of it. I'm not even that into tech. I couldn't stop watching. It was amazing.
Thank you.
You were amazing. Both of you. The chemistry was awesome.
And I say I'm walking towards the fire, and even if things don't go well or the way that I planned it, or if I mess up, I might say, even though I messed up, I'm very proud of you for trying.
I'm proud of you for trying. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm proud of, it feels soothing just to say those words. We should all say them together.
Yes.
I'm proud of you you for trying.
Yes.
Okay.
And I have one more that I always say, because
Tell
my
us.
fear is fear of failure. And so my thought is, you only fail if you don't try.
You only fail if you don't try. Another great one.
Yeah.
That's
what I really use.
Because that's a failure not to try.
Yeah, I changed the definition of what failure was to me so that then I wasn't failing.
That is a brilliant tip. So in your life, if you're not trying things, that's the real failure.
Yes.
Whereas if you try it and it doesn't go well, you're a winner.
That's learning.
You're a winner.
That's learning. You learned something,
fantastic.
right? It may not be good, but at least, when I failed at being a singer, I knew, okay, maybe not, that might not be, you might need to sing. You failed at being
a singer?
I did.
What happened?
Oh, you didn't know?
I don't know the story. No,
I was in a band. I was the
You were in
singer
a
of
band? Oh, this is like Christmas party stuff, really?
Yes.
I didn't know this.
You didn't know this?
You were in a band and you failed?
Oh, yeah, quite publicly. And I can't sing, which you need to sing to be able to be a singer.
Yeah,
and it's kind of important.
Probably true.
Kind of important. And the funny thing is that I don't look back on it and feel bad for failing. I like, oh, okay, well, that's not my path. I'll find another path, and I could let it go.
How did you know you failed?
Because we didn't make it into the talent show, and we sounded horrible.
Okay, but you...
It was pretty obvious.
Right, but you tried.
But I tried,
it's not a failure.
And
now you know you're not a singer.
I'm not a singer.
Yeah,
it's not my thing.
Not your thing.
I went into therapy.
Okay. Okay. where it is your thing.
That's my
thing.
Your
thing.
That's a better thing for
I like
me.
that. So very important point, like closing tips, is it's a failure to not try. So whatever you're avoiding in your life right now, you want to move towards it.
Yeah.
So what do you say to people? We're getting to that point. So someone's listening right now. Someone. Yes. We have a big audience in Sweden. Hi, Sweden. Someone in Sweden is listening right now, and they say, yes, that's true, but I am too scared to go towards the fire. Georgia, what do you tell them?
So I say break it up into tiny little steps. The smallest step possible. If you're scared of going outside, just walk to the door. Walk to the door, stay there. Work on what you say to yourself. If you have to write it down and just re-say it constantly, great. If you have a friend that makes it fun and you can laugh, go do that, and you get close to wherever your edge of what you can do is, towards whatever you're scared of, and stay there. And then every day try to go a little bit further, or stay that day where you are. And even if one day you can't because you're sick, you had a fight, things were difficult, that's okay. That is not a failure, because you didn't stop trying. You just couldn't do that much today. Start wherever you could, and then go back again. And it will recalibrate what your brain sees as dangerous, because you didn't die from it. You stayed at the door.
Good, well,
and then your brain says, oh, okay, well, that didn't kill me. Door's okay.
Great strategy.
And then door changes.
Great strategy. And I also really particularly love you emphasizing to break it down into small pieces.
Yes.
Like it's really can be really like a lion. Yeah. And it's too overwhelming. So if you have a fear of public speaking, you don't want to go speak to 300 people the first time.
No.
It might be too much. It's your point, but thank you. It's your great point. It's breaking it down in steps. Thank you for the compliment.
But you said why, that's good, which is you could flood yourself and actually give you more anxiety.
Yeah.
And don't force someone else against their will to do something, even if you think it's the best thing to do. You want to help them break it down into steps and then allow this. Now, this might be a little bit different if you're dealing with very young children. That might be changing the rules a little bit to that. But while we're talking about for adults dealing with this with children, we probably would have to do a whole show on, because there's different steps and trust and understanding and knowledge base that would be into play.
We will. So, I'll finish up on this exact thought. I talk about this often, that if there's two people trying to cross the street and they're both fearful of it, and one of them, the therapist says, take a step, and that man says, what do you mean take a step? I want to get across the street. A step's not going to do much. And the therapist says, we're just going to do one step today. That's fine. And he says, okay, don't be ridiculous. You treat me like I'm an idiot. And he goes home. And the other one's with their therapist, and the therapist says, take a step. And he goes, okay, I'll try one step today, just one step. And he succeeds. Who is across the street in a month from now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes we say it's not enough that we that we can walk into a party or wear a colorful outfit or go downtown with blotches, and then we're criticizing ourselves, and that's feeding again the anxiety. It is enough. It's enough.
Yes.
Any step you take today counts.
Every grain of sand. Yes.
Every grain of sand.
Yes. Beautiful.
That is unfortunately all the time we have today, but I think we ended on a strong note. I want to thank you so much, Georgia, for coming on Straight Talk. You are, as always, a great guest filled with inspirational and great strategies. Thank you, and I hope you'll come back again. I know you will.
Thank you so much, Sandra, for having me.
So.
You're so cute. Thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun. The time went by in a heart. I can't believe that was an hour.
It's always great to talk to you. So if you want to continue the conversation right into Facebook anytime, you can speak to Georgia or myself. I'd like to thank all of you for listening to Straight Talk with Sandra Reich. We really appreciate it. I'd like to invite you all back next week. If you have any interest in our retreats, therapy, or any other media that was mentioned on this show or previous shows, check out helpforanxietydepression.com. You can go on straighttalksandrareich.com and put /free gifts and get all sorts of free gifts, including a breathing strategy from Georgia Dow, fantastic, for free. Go on Straight Talk Sandra Reich Facebook, leave Georgia or myself any comments. You can hear this and any prior show as a podcast on my website, straighttalksandrareich.com, on the podcast app of your iPhone or on iTunes. I know you like that's iPhone.
I do.
Under Straight Talk with Sandra Reich, drop me a comment or question at info@helpforanxietydepression.com. And if you are a professional and you're looking for keynote speakers or training on anxiety, depression, emotional regulation, living a purposeful life, keep in touch with us. We are your source for evidence-based practice and education. My name is Sandra Reich, and I promise I'll help you to learn to live your best life again next Thursday, same time, same channel. In the meanwhile, this is Straight Talk with Sandra Reich. Keep your eyes on the stars.
Thank you for listening to Straight Talk with Sandra Reich. We hope you've enjoyed today's show, and we'll tune in again next Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Health and Wellness Channel. Now, go live your best life.